In such modern, technological, and competitive world, having the experience of physical conference feel through our virtual assembly, it's way beyond having this impressive certificate or a diploma. Through our detailed research, we embellish critical thinking as well as effective analytical research and communication skills, which we are globally sought after and remarkable and beneficial to all of us. This is our afternoon session in our second day on our third international conference on scholarly writing and research publishing for Global Branding 2020. Right here at the Rizal Memorial Colleges Incorporated, Davao City, Philippines. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, world. And of course, to our respected president, we have our beautiful Dr. Evelyn Abellera Magno and our Dean of the Graduate School, Dr. Pablo F. Busquet, and the Council for Deans for Graduate Education, President. Doctor, good afternoon. And we have with us, of course, respected Chair of the Board of Directors, Mr. Leo Tereso O.A. Magno. Good afternoon and welcome once again to our participants all over the world. Of course, we have with us live today here in our studio, we have Dr. Marciano B. Melchor, Dr. Mylene M. Blancha, Dr. Remigilda D. Gallardo, Mr. Reynaldo Piong Alipio, Mr. Vernal B. Ortiga, and thank you so much to our technical director, Mr. Eugene Dorado, and yours truly. Of course, we are going to be together all throughout, making this conference a remarkable one. Okay, so it is now flashed on the screen our day 2 afternoon session attendance link. And do not forget to fill that one out with necessary information provided with our attendance link this afternoon. Okay, so we'll have but not the lists, of course, the last keynote speaker for our conference. And of course, this one is all the way live from Pakistan. Okay, so this is it. In a little while, we'll give you nothing but always the best that what this conference will offer back at the academe or in your different perspective respected institutions. Okay, so this is it. We have our last keynote speaker at this time. So rest assured, this will be in the unprecedented crisis such as this coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. We are importantly intensifying our attention to one's health and wellness. The global pandemic, which has greatly impacted every facet of our lives. That, of course, touched people on their core. Yet, we all managed and get directed to being bountiful of our consciousness on personal health and well-being to the forefront of the human notice. It's very important. We're learning. At the same time, we are also preventing the spread of coronavirus through having our virtual assembly in this 2-day conference. And do not forget, once again, the link flashed on the screen in our afternoon session. And do not forget, of course, at the same time, to fill that out with the necessary information provided on that attendance link. Okay, so we're waiting for now to our keynote speaker. So I guess Sir Eugene Dorado, my co-partner, he is our technical director at the same time. Are we ready, sir, for our next keynote speaker? Okay, so since the other line is not yet ready and we are still having to wait, our next keynote speaker will bring you back a glimpse of our first international conferences to the second and up until at this time. We'll bring you with the best practices, beautiful moments of the graduate school faculty together with the graduate school dean, Dr. Pablo F. Busquet, with the different beautiful experiences that had brought with the conferences. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we'll bring you and give you the glimpse of the past of these conferences. And Mr. Eugene Dorado, please roll VTR. We're back live and alive right here in our international conference, right here at the Rizal Memorial Colleges Incorporated, Davao City, Philippines. We feel really extremely glad about this conference, having this remarkable success, highlighting our distinguished and competitive strengths in research and development enthusiasts at this time, with our esteemed presenters, as we'll go through with the next batch of our pre-video presentations of our our presenters today. And to start off with, we have Haryadi Yutanto, Kartika Marta Budiana on the webinar, A Strategy to Enhance Speaking Skill of Non-Native English Speaker.
Hi, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Haryadi Yutanto.
And me, myself, Kartika Marta Budiana.
We are going to present webinar strategy to enhance speaking skill of non-native English speakers.
Let's start from the introduction. There are several parts that I'm going to present from the introduction, method, finding and discussion, and conclusion. Next slide is the introduction. Non-native English speakers have difficulty in expressing their ideas in English or on their career path. This phenomenon is supported by students user on my campus, on this campus, who suggested that many students in business school have low competence on English, especially in speaking. This phenomenon occurs not only in Indonesia, it also happens in Thailand. Using English effectively and efficiently in non-English speaking countries is requiring in fields such as education, business, medicine, fashion, design, and manufacturing. So this is particularly true in Thailand and other Asian countries where college students are required to achieve good English, standardized tests, scores to apply jobs. Yeah, this happened in Indonesia, just like ITP or TOEFL-like tests. Language learning is a complex process from the material source searching up to the delivery to the students. In this process, language teachers cannot be far away from the technology, which is application of scientific knowledge to practical tasks by organization that involve people and machines. This is according to Chakir in 2006. That is why me and my colleague, Mr. Haryadi Yutanto, choose a technology that is called webinar for this research. I collaborate with him because Mr. Haryadi Yutanto is an IT expert in this campus. So he will handle the technical thing where the webinar will be conducted. One of the tools that can be used in language teaching is the tool that can use internet. Yeah, internet is everywhere, including Indonesia, even though the signal is not really good, but internet is everywhere. As globalization is bringing people closer each other via number of information and communication technologies, webinars have become an indispensable tool in ensuring online education environment in higher education for closer interconnection between students, educators, researchers, and other participants of higher education. This is the opinion by Ahrens et al. In 2016. This is the reason why me and my colleague, he is an IT expert, choose webinar to enhance the speaking skills of students of non-native speakers. Teaching English need more innovation. That is why webinar is needed. At that time, we haven't had this pandemic era. Coronavirus, COVID-19 is not yet coming in Indonesia. In 2019, we've had this research. So that time, everyone is healthy, happy, and can have the class offline. Next, I'm going to talk about the method. As you can see in the research framework, that we have pre-test up to the post-test. So the first, we've done a pre-test for the students, and the result is they have low speaking skill competence. That is why we have a preparation, a strategy or technique to increase or enhance their speaking skill. Then we choose webinar for the strategy to enhance their speaking skill. And after the webinar is conducted, we've done a post-test. The study was carried out in one of business school in Surabaya, and the subjects, there are 3 classes. The instruments here, as I have already mentioned, is pre-test, post-test, and the webinar as the strategy to enhance their speaking skill. After the method, the finding and discussion will be discussed and presented by my colleague, Mr. Haryadi Yutanto.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Martha. The next slide, finding and discussion. The implementation of webinar by utilizing the official email account facility at SD Perbana Surabaya. We are socializing the use of Google Meet as medium for learning English online. At the first time, we had difficulty using the application. The difficulties they found were the low internet connection. They didn't know how to share their presentation slide. And then the most crucial things is unsupporting device. But after several trials, those difficulties by time can be handled. Then they were very enthusiastic. The next part will be presented by my colleagues.
Thank you, Mr. Haryadi Yutanto, for the finding and discussion presentation. Let me continue the presentation for the study, that is speaking skill or speaking enhancement. There are 3 classes as the subject that we've done here. The first is W2 class, Y1 class, and W1 class. Sorry. Now, the students and pre-post test of W2 class here, as you can see in the slide. Before we've done the post-test, we've done a pre-test first. The pre-test is to take sample out of 500 students of ESP program level on this business school. The pre-test contains of topic presentation. The topic for the pre-test is comparing working practices. The students read the topic that must be presented a week before. The English teacher gives an example of the slide PowerPoint about the topic. On the day, students present the topic for the PowerPoint slide. That day is the pre-test day, and the score is recorded as the pre-test score. Let's take a look at the W2 class students pre and post test. The blue lines, the blue graph represent pre-test. The orange one represent post test. It can be seen there that their pre-test score, there are 2 students have scored 61 to 69, 14 students have scored 70 to 74, 10 students have 70 to 79. While the post-test score, there are 12 students have scored 70 to 74, 7 students have scored 75 to 79, and 5 students have scored 80 to 84. 80 to 84 is a new group score that previously not exists. That is a range score. It can be said that from W2 class pre and post-test graph, there is a good improvement on the post-test score. For the Y1 class, as you can see, the blue lines, the highest on the 70 up to 74 class or group for the pre-test. 80 up to 84, there are only 1 student on the pre-test who have the score. But for the post-test, you can see that the highest students, the most students has the score on 70 and 75. Before, their range score is 70 to 74. So there was an increase before 70 to 75 and up to 79. On the range 80 up to 84, previously only one student increased to 5 students. And before, there is no student have the range score of 85 to 89, but on the post-test, there is one student have score in this range. So it can be seen that there is a small increase on the small amount of students who have scored 70 to 75, but mostly their score is increasing. The students' pre and post-test score on W1 class is not significantly increased. For the pre-test, the students have 70 up to 74 range score. There are 12 students, but on the post-test increase only 1 to 13 students. And for 75 to 79 range score, on the pre-test, they have 13 students, decreased to 12 students for the post-test. That is why we can see that on W1 class, almost there is no significant improvement on their post-test score. We reached the conclusion already. So the conclusion of this presentation of the study is that there is an improvement on the speaking score with the webinar using from the 2 out of 3 classes observed. Okay, that's all our presentation. Hope you enjoy, stay healthy, and stay happy, everyone. Thank you for the chance for the Dr. Juari for us. See you. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our research presenters. We have Haryada Yutanto, Kartika Marta Bodiana, webinar, A Strategy to Enhance Speaking Skill of Non-Native English Speaker, all the way from Indonesia. Thank you. And now we're moving to the next presenter, Balancing Academics and Sports of Students Athletes, Accounts of Teachers, Mr. Jeffrey C. Ligorpa.
Good day, everyone. I am Jeffrey C. Ligorpa from Governor Generoso Davao Oriental, Philippines. I am so honored to be one of the presenters in this third international conference on scholarly writing and research publishing for global branding. Today, I am going to present my study entitled Balancing Academics and Sports of Student Athletes, Account of Teachers. So, first, I'm going to discuss the abstract of this study. The main objective of this study was to explore and investigate the account of teachers as they handle the student athletes. There were 4 themes emerged on the accounts of teachers in handling student athletes that were observed. First, extend more effort and extra academics activities were given by the teachers. Second, close coordination among teachers and coaches for monitoring of the whereabouts of the athletes. Third, self-discipline of the athletes and balancing academic and sports. With the vast experiences of these teachers in handling student athletes, they have already seen the different types of athletes that somehow give them a clear view of the athletes that will really succeed. Meanwhile, the other theme are on how the student athletes balance the academics and sports participations where sorting out of priorities. Student athletes set goals as blueprint. Third, get organized and stay organized and utilize available resources. Lastly, on the basis of lesson learned from the informants, Four themes again were observed by the teachers during interview. These are the following. First, appreciate student athletes in labor. Second, value the dreams of the athletes. Third, craft a well-planned support program for the student athletes. And time management derived from experiences of the student athletes during the interactions that give them clear pictures on how teachers would be able to help the student athletes balance the academics and sports activities. These are themes generated to encourage and motivate the student athletes to perform and succeed in their chosen field. I frequently encounter problems of student athletes who complain of being failed in one or two academic subjects that hinder them in participating in sanctioned sport activities. Department of Education is working on to help and support our student athletes by offering special programs in sports in selected public schools in the entire country. Despite of that, there are teachers who are not supportive of the plight of the student athletes on how they can balance schools and sports. Some of those teachers are the source of negativism in sports that prompted some of the student athletes to quit in their chosen field of sports. School sport involvement has the potential to enrich every individual participant's overall educational experience, while ensuring that his or her academic success is always viewed as the highest priority. Sport participation and time spent practicing and competing has the capability of serving as an additional channel of learning. However, many students make the decisions to participate on a team without knowing the various effects it can have on their academic performance. Hence, I am prompted to do this research to unleash the varied perspective of teachers on problems faced by the student athletes in balancing schools and sports. The researcher is searching for better way of helping student athletes handle balancing academics and sport activities and to gain insights from the experiences that are essentials in giving the needed support of the student athletes in accomplishing their dreams. This study will be beneficial for administrators as data gathered serve as the research-based information that will be used in acquiring the support of the numerous stakeholders by providing them with ideas pertaining to the problem faced in balancing schools and sports. This study will also be beneficial for teachers and coaches in understanding how these talented athletes cope with balancing full-time full commitment to sports and study. Moreover, the focus for this paper examines the way of teachers support these young people to cope with huge physical workloads as part of their sport and manage their school commitments. Further, the results generated will be provide comprehensive data in conducting future researches with similar or relevant scope. This study employed a qualitative approach to research, specifically a phenomenological research design. Phenomenology is an approach to qualitative research that focuses on the commonality of life experiences within a particular group. The key informants of this study were elementary school teachers handling student athletes in Governor Generoso North District, Governor Generoso Davao Oriental. It utilized at least 10 classroom teachers for qualitative participants for an in-depth interview who were randomly selected from the school. The emerging themes in the accounts of teachers handling student athletes are the following. First, extend more efforts and give extra academic activities. It is already an attitude of our teachers of extending more efforts and give extra time in giving additional academic activities if we found out that a number of our learners have encountered difficulty catching up our lesson. As the respondent of the in-depth interview revealed, most of them agreed that it takes extra effort for teachers to deal with the student athletes since they have to extend extra mile to understand and assist them, providing them with necessary remediations if needed. As said, despite of the additional work exerted by the teachers, there was also that kind of feeling of fulfillment when you see your student excel during the game and were doing their best academically. Second, close coordinations of teachers and coaches. A coordinations among teachers and coaches was found to be important because it would ensure that the student athletes were provided with the needed intervention. Close coordinations among teachers and coaches was the key to ensure that the needed help of the student athletes are addressed immediately. Self-discipline. Self-discipline will lead you to greater heights in your chosen field. All the elite athletes around the world are in accord in saying that to be able to excel in your event, you must have self-discipline. Everything you do, from training to game proper, you should always have self-discipline. Balancing academics and sports. Balancing academics and sports would be very difficult to handle if no one will guide the student athletes. Even before, in our time, we also encountered such problem. We seldom neglected our academic activities and focused more on sports. In addition, student athletes face a number of challenges trying to find the balance between academic and sport motivations. How student athletes balance their academics and sport activities? First, sort out your priority. Priority sorting would help student athletes to manage the daily schedule. It can be hard to figure out where to start for student athletes who have a lot of factors competing for their time. On the field, track, court, or mat, there are mapped workouts. Second, set goals. Setting goals is important to ensuring progress and advancement in the targeted areas. In sports, goal settings can be integral part of motivating athletes to improve their performance and achieve at the high level. Just as sports are built around targets, either scoring on or tracing the competition, student life requires goals. Third, organize. Staying organized is essential for students who want to play sports while in school. Organizing your ideas, documents, schedule, and many others will all needed in order to prosper. Balancing and organizing oneself is a real challenge student athletes' education and was crucial to a young athlete's life. Lastly, utilize resources. Utilize resources means grab all the chances given to you as student athletes in coping with the missed classroom activities. Student athletes should take advantage of the resources available to them when balancing schools and sports becomes a challenge. These are the emerging themes observed during the discussions and the lesson learned from the accounts of the teachers handling student athletes. First, appreciate student athletes in labor, giving appreciations to the efforts done by an athlete to handle academically and at the same time gives honor to the school is a vital factor that needs to be addressed for an athlete to continue their quest for excellence in academics and in sports. Second, value the dreams of the student athlete. Coaching is a complex task and requires the use of different strategies and behaviors to fulfill many expectations. Sports coaches have to possess good knowledge, skills, and high motivations in carrying out responsibilities to produce quality athletes. Third, well-planned support system. As educators, we must give full support to our students so that they can easily achieve their dreams at the same time perform fine in their academics and in their chosen sports. Always create a plan that's suited to the needs of our athletes. Lastly, time management. Time management issues involving schools and sport requirements were of prime importance. Teachers indicated that as student athletes' personal time commitments varied greatly, it was essential to adopt an individual approach to their time management. In line with the trust of sport officials of developing grassroots athletes where school sports are widely accepted avenue to discover potential athletes that will represent our country in the near future. It gives unequal opportunities to the student athletes all over the country. Thus, it carries a baggage of equipping our teachers with necessary tools in handling student athletes. Close coordination among teachers and coaches as a way of monitoring the progress of the student athletes both in academics and sports. Together with extended efforts and giving extra academics activities to compensate the missed face-to-face discussion, and self-discipline, questions on balancing academics and sports and time management would be non-bearing. The lesson learned from the teachers' informant experiences as they handle the student athletes are the following. Appreciate the student athletes in labor. Value the dreams of the student athletes. These themes can be described as emotional mechanism needed by the student athletes that would boost their morale to strive more and go harder in the chosen field. Another theme observed during the discussions was the support from the school administrators, teachers, sport officials, and coaches to craft a well-planned support program for the student athletes. And time management, setting up a weekly personal calendar of activities that serves as guide. The Department of Education should conduct issued a guidelines on how the student athletes be protected from teachers who are non-considerate and emotionless about sports. Teachers must be flexible and understanding to the nature of student athletes. Teachers should no longer terrorize the student athletes through lots of impossible requirements. Teachers should always understand the student athletes as they are functioning as a student and as an athlete at the same time. Teachers should always connect and reach the coaches to better assess the student athletes. Teachers should share their teaching strategies in handling student athletes with their co-teachers. The teacher should thoroughly review student athletes' performance and output to assess the methodology and techniques effectiveness. They should be encouraged to participate in more trainings and seminars teaching management and development. They should also use these effective teaching strategies that they have learned during workshop attended. Similarly, quantitative researches across the country may be employed to gain a broader perspective and gain more insights into varied participants in this study. So, this is the end of my presentation. Before saying goodbye, I would like to share this quote from Rob Well. Teachers and coaches who work together to ensure the success of their student athletes may never know the impact of their lessons, but be assured the lessons are learned. Thank you so much, everyone. Once again, have a good day and God bless.
Thank you so much to our presenter, Mr. Jeffrey C. Ligorpa, Balancing Academics and Sports of Students Athletes, Accounts of Teachers, all the way from Governor Generoso, Davao City, Philippines. Okay, thank you so much, sir, for you just have shown your intelligent ideas on the accounts of teachers pertaining to the balancing of academics and the sports of the students athletes. Wow, that's quite a lot. So all the way, Governor Generoso, Davao Oriental, Philippines. Okay, so we're moving on to our next presenter. So we are really having endless possibilities of getting an inspiration and intelligent, smart ideas with our research enthusiasts today. Moving on to our third presenter, Miss Michelle S. Barsaman, the travails of teachers with multiple ancillary functions, a phenomenological inquiry.
Good day, everyone. I am glad to be speaking to you today. I hope that you feel excited as I am. I'd like to draw your attention for a few minutes. I am Michelle Subricari Barsaman, Teacher 1, and I am from Davao City, Philippines. Today, I will share my study with you entitled The Travails of Teachers with Multiple Ancillary Functions, a Phenomenological Inquiry. let me introduce the outline of my presentation. 1. Abstract. 2. Method. 3. Introduction. 4. Results and discussion. 5. Implication and future direction. The goal of this research was to describe the experiences of teachers in Governor Generoso with multiple ancillary functions, employing a phenomenological inquiry among 10 teacher participants. In-depth interviews and focused discussions were conducted. Results revealed that most of the participants experienced positive gains from their experiences, which challenged them to aspire more advancement for themselves. Difficulty in balance time, reduced teaching quality, less time for family and hobbies, physical fatigue, demotivation, coping mechanisms of the participants, including proper planning and time management, achieving life-work balance, inspiration, and support system. Despite the rigors of life, as a teacher with multiple ancillary functions, they shared about positive insights about their experiences on commitment and dedications, being positive prospect for growth and development as a testament of faith and trust in one's abilities. This study employed a qualitative research design, specifically a phenomenological approach. A qualitative research design was described as an approach for exploring and understanding the meaning of individuals or groups as described to social or human problem, as cited by Criswell and Criswell 2017. The participants of the study are 10 public elementary school teachers, ranging from Teacher 1 to Master Teacher 1, with 10 years and above teaching experience from Serapion C. Basalo Elementary School, Governor Generoso South, Davao Oriental Division, who would be randomly selected to serve as informants. The selection of the 10 participants would be based on their multiple ancillary functions. Teachers are always considered as the most significant factor in determining the quality of education in any particular country. The Sustainable Development Goals agenda assumes that for a country to achieve a quality education for the sustainable development, the teaching profession has to be strengthened, and the deliberate efforts to improve the life of its workforce has to be in place. This research aims to generate information with regards to the success stories of teachers with multiple ancillary functions. It specifically intends to share the story of teachers, which aims to help the students develop their full potential in making a difference and what motivates them to do the task. I am personally concerned on the factors that motivate teachers to stay in the field of teaching, since I observe that most of the young generation are trying to leave the profession because of these ancillary functions. Challenges of teachers with multiple ancillary functions. Number 1, difficulty to balance time. Time is one of the most important elements that the participants considered when discussing about ancillary functions. The participants portrayed about having too much ancillary functions makes balancing time too difficult for the teachers to handle. Number 2, reduce the teaching quality. The participants of the study expressed that one of the effects of having too much ancillary reduced their teaching performance. They discuss how the time that they should have been used for lesson planning and lesson preparation is sacrificed as they have to prioritize the ancillary task because it has been required as soon as possible. Number 3, less time for family and hobbies. Aside from the reduction of the teaching quality of the teachers, the participants also shared the time restriction due to having multiple ancillary functions affects their time supposed to be given for the family and personal hobbies. Number 4, physical fatigue. Too much task due to ancillary function have caused teachers to be physically fatigued. They have shared that their experiences when working at late hours, traveling multiple times a day, and being exposed to computers for long hours. Last, the motivation. The motivation has also been experienced by the participants due to stress. They emphasize that stress is not only manifested physically, but emotionally as well. I believe that this undertaking would be a significant source of information, not only for teachers with multiple ancillary functions, but also for the academic in general. Multiple ancillary function of teacher adhered to DepEd Memorandum Number 291 dated June 13, 2008, which indicated the teaching load, including advisorship and special assignments for the entire school year combined, shall be considered as one teaching load. Thus, it is encouraged that these multiple ancillary functions were equally distributed among all the teachers in the school in order to strengthen collaboration and support system. From a qualitative methodological standpoint, the stories of teachers have not been told before, which illuminate the ongoing experiences of teachers with multiple ancillary functions in school. I personally believe that this undertaking would be a significant source of information, not only for teachers with multiple ancillary functions, but also for the academic in general. In the field of teaching, success depends on many things. Success can be measured by the experiences we have. Gathered from the findings of this study are the untold stories of teachers with multiple ancillary functions, which revealed that most of the participants experienced positive gains from their experiences, which challenged them to aspire more advancement to become better educators in spite of the rigors of life. The findings of the study showed the teacher with multiple ancillary functions are even motivated despite the different challenges they have encountered. Moreover, it brings the advantage of using the qualitative phenomenological research design approach in understanding the life experiences of teachers with multiple ancillary functions, which also opened opportunities and relevant ideas for future researches about multiple ancillary function in the educational arena. That ends my presentation. Thank you all for your time. I wish you all a blessed day.
Thank you to our third presenter today, Ms. Michelle S. Barsaman, the travails of teachers with multiple ancillary functions of phenomenological inquiry. Thank you so much, ma'am. And at this time, moving on to our fourth presenters, we have Dr. Joan N. Sison and Mr. Pepito D. Gardose on the experience of the senior high school teachers embracing the new normal education in the light of adversities quotient amidst the COVID-19 pandemic.
Oh,
Good morning. I'm Dr. Joan Natad Sison, and with my co-researcher, Pepito Di Joseph, Principal 1, I'll be presenting the lived experiences of senior high school teachers embracing the new normal education in the light of adversity quotient amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to drastic changes in the educational systems around the world. With the rising number of infections and deaths, the need to suspend face-to-face interaction among learners and teachers has emerged. Hence, most governments worldwide have temporarily closed educational institutions. Nationwide or localized school closures have affected millions of learners. In response to this global adversity or unfortunate situation, Europe has resorted to the new normal education through homeschooling, online, and school reopening with socially distanced desks. In the Philippines, the Department of Education integrated self-learning modules with the alternative delivery modalities like modular, television-based, radio-based instruction, blended, and online learning. This was done to make education accessible to learners despite the prohibition of face-to-face classes. Senior high school teachers contend with the adversity or difficulty of the abrupt transition of their lessons from physical classrooms to distance learning platforms. Since the teaching profession amid crisis has a lot of unexpected situations and events, teachers must deal with the changing needs of students through a lesson and adapt to manage unexpected situations linked to student behavior. They must also make adjustments to their teaching plans when timetable changes occur. Adversity quotient is a term coined in 1997 by Paul Stoltz, a doctor of organizational communication and development. It is a score that measures a person's ability to cope with life's adversities or situations of continued difficulty. It is also known as the science of resilience or the ability to solve a setback with relative ease. This is our theoretical or framework. The purpose of the study was to describe and to understand the lived experiences of senior high school teachers embracing the new normal education in the light of adversity quotient amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The research questions are, what are the lived experiences of senior high school teachers embracing the new normal education in the light of adversity quotient amidst the COVID-19 pandemic? What insights have the senior high school teachers gained from their lived experiences? And what effective teaching and learning approaches in the light of adversity quotient can be drawn from the participants' narration? The research design I used is phenomenological approach, which attempts to understand people's perceptions and perspectives of a particular situation or phenomenon. This qualitative research described how the participants used adversity quotient or resilience to deal with adversities or difficulties in facilitating modular learning modality and group chat, as well as other adversities in this pandemic-driven new normal education. It also showed how they were able to show the AQ dimensions control, ownership, reach, and endurance, and how they cope with adversities through teaching and learning strategies. The research locale is the senior high school department of Dilangala National High School, and the participants were the 11 senior high school teachers who were active class advisors in the academic year 2020-2021. So for the methodology, after coordinating with the school principal, the informed consent form was digitally sent to the chosen participants, and they were asked to print and sign the forms and send these forms back to us. Then we formulated guide questions based on their, and we also set the date for the in-depth interview through a phone call due to work from home arrangement amidst the pandemic. We assured the participants that we would keep their identities confidential and ask permission from them to record the in-depth phone interview. For the data analysis, the phenomenological method of Galeazzi in 1978, as cited by Creswell in 2007, was used to analyze the transcript of the in-depth interview, wherein the transcript was read many times, and we identified significant relevant phrases. We coded and clustered them into themes to extract common themes. We used a data matrix, then integrated the results into an in-depth description of the phenomenon, and able to show verification through literature search, adherence to phenomenological method, and interviewing till data saturation was achieved. After carefully reading the in-depth interview's transcript, we chose the dominant, relevant, and significant responses of, not their real names, Jeb, Dea, Jing, Eve, Jera, Fe, Raya, Ona, Jean, Orb, and Kay. We highlighted themes through sample narratives or direct quotes and analyzed and discussed the themes that emerged from the transcribed data. So for the main themes, we have digital connectivity concerns with thematic statements on slow, poor, or unavailable internet connection, lack of gadgets like smartphones, additional expenses for internet load, and delayed work and communication. For the need for capacity building for SILM writers, they have limited training and experience and limited exemplar and resources. And for the negative attitudes and circumstances of students, there was a lack of interest, failure to submit or late submission of school requirements, online or offline, and non-compliance with directions and economic distraction. Effort done for internet connection, alternatives for online communication, and help-seeking behavior. For the digital connectivity concerns, this is the first theme that emerged to answer research question number 1. All the participants revealed that they struggle in communicating to other teachers, parents, and learners due to slow or unreliable internet connection and lack of gadgets of other stakeholders. Ray and Jera also stated that internet load is an additional expense and internet connection concerns delayed their work. And for Table 2, we have the insights that the senior high school teachers gained from their lived experiences. For strategies to show accountability, the teachers were able to show refusal to blame anyone or anything, and they were able to also constantly remind students to work on their tasks. As for the strategies to contain adversity's reach, the senior high school teachers had the refusal to take home the adversities in the workplace. Then They showed time management for work, family, and community, and maturity to adjust. For the strategies to battle adversity's endurance, they said that ending an adversity as soon as they can with work, as well as tapping support network and enhancing spiritual growth. For strategies to show accountability, Eve, Jean, Jaren K show accountability or responsibility for improving the outcome of the situation by giving constant reminders to students regarding school requirements, policies, and updates. Furthermore, except for Orb, Jing, and K, all participants did not blame people or situations for adversities they encountered. Instead, they dealt with other stakeholders with understanding in the context of the current pandemic. For strategies to contain adversity's reach, for Jeb, Rayak, and K, adversity does not last for long. If it does, they can resolve it within hours, within the day, or in 2 days. Jeb and Jared speed up the elimination of an adversity through opening up and asking for advice, while Jing and Dea do it through enhancing spiritual growth. For table 3, we have from the participants' narration. The first theme is the teachers' initiatives for new normal education, wherein they tap a student to reach out to non-participative students, and they had teacher-made protocols in group chats. As for advice for fellow teachers, they said that there should be time management, adaptive help-seeking strategies, as well as positivity and counting of blessings. For administrators, there should be continued guidance and encouragement from them, as well as the creation of relevant mechanisms and program plans. For the conclusion and implications to educational practice, by having efficient strategies to respond to the adversities of new normal education, senior high school teachers can show high adversity quotient amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. However, school administrators, the local government unit officials, DepEd officials, telecommunication companies, and other stakeholders must work hand in hand to respond to the digital divide. Internet connectivity must be strengthened and secured to have a more efficient teaching-learning process in the new normal, and internet connectivity must also be strengthened and secured to be provided for teachers and students. Capacity building for teachers must be implemented for them to produce distant learning materials while sustaining their mental health and well-being. In addition, further research must be done for new normal strategies shared by the participants, such as tapping a trusted student to reach out to non-participating students, as well as teacher-made protocols in managing the class group chats. This will pave for efficient, research-based strategies that can be adopted by other teachers. Based on the participant suggestions, school administrators must also help increase the adversity through their continued guidance and encouragement, as well as creation of mechanism and plans that respond to new normal education. People will not care how much you know until they know how much you care. Thank you for listening.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you've just heard Dr. Joan Season on her study. And of course, at this time, it's the most awaited part because we are now having our keynote speaker for the day. And we've been all waiting for this keynote speaker all the way from Pakistan. Well, this has been a very remarkable international conference, very successful at this in our second day, and having our next speaker, of course, she is a distinguished speaker and will deliver intelligent and smart ideas in the field of research, advancement, and development in the field of the academe. This is a distinguished speaker that will give some actionable ideas about how one will succeed at the academe. Our eminent keynote speaker on the topic, the use of mixed methods research boosts the chances of publication. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Rab Nawaz Ludi, University of Central Punjab, Business School, Pakistan. Okay, so I am live now right here at the Zoom platform. A while back, I was the StreamYard, and because we're going to cater the accessibility of the connectivity of our keynote speaker, I am now transferred to the next platform, which is the Zoom. Hello there, Dr. Rab Nawaz Lodi, all the way from Pakistan. Is from the business school and we'll talk about the use of mixed methods research designs boost the chances of publication. Ladies and gentlemen, all the while we're waiting for this moment, Dr. Rab Nawaz Ludi on his topic today. Please take it away, sir.
Yeah. Hello, ma'am. Maureen, Ava, how are you? Everything is fine? Yeah. Hi
Everything
from
is really
Pakistan.
perfect. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me in your wonderful international conference. So please allow me to share my screen. Please allow me to share my screen. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, that's wonderful. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Rab Nawaz Lodi, and I formally welcome to all participants in this amazing session on using mixed methods research design to boost your publication. So, my name is Dr. Rab Nawaz Lodi, and I'm the keynote speaker of this session. And I would like to introduce myself. I did my PhD in the field of business and management from Bahria University, Islamabad, Pakistan. And I have vast training, teaching, and research experience in Pakistan, Malaysia, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Saudi Arabia, and United States of America. So my area of interest includes information systems, business strategy, electronic business, and how we can apply IT skills in marketing, finance, HR, computerized accounting, project management, and statistics. So I have expertise on different quantitative and qualitative data analytical softwares like NVivo, MaxQDA, Atlas Type for qualitative, and SPSS, Smart PLS, M+, and AMOS for quantitative data analysis, including statistical modeling technique and multi-level modeling. So I'm the certified trainer of NVivo software in South Asian regions, and this is basically the competitive edge and competitive advantage that more than 50 universities around the globe, they invited me as a resource person, as a trainer. I went there and I trained the thousands of people, thousands of researchers and principal investigators in different quantitative and qualitative data analytical techniques and research designs. So last year in 2019, in South Florida, United States of America, they invited me and I went there and I trained the people from America, different states of America, Canada, and the people from China. They also participated in my training workshop. So similarly, Bajashir University, Istanbul, Turkey, they invited me and I trained the people from they attended my training session. So similarly, in 2017, King Abdulaziz University, Saudi Arabia, they invited me on the Howard University USA funded project. I went there and I trained the team, professional, and the principal investigator and the other investigator of that particular funded project. So it was very wonderful training experience. So similarly, UUM University Utara, Malaysia, they invited me and people from 35 different countries, they attended my training workshops. So I have a number of impact factor publications and I'm also guest editor of an impact factor journal and its impact factor is 2.796. So we are going to publish a very wonderful special issue in the year of 2021, inshallah, in on qualitative research in hospitality and tourism management. So, audience, now I would like to come over my topic, and which is the mixed methods research. So, my question is, what is the need to conduct mixed methods research? What is the need? What is why we conduct mixed method research? This is the question, and if we have the answer, then definitely we are on the right path. So if we don't have the answer, then definitely we are not clear about why we are going to use the mixed methods research. So the question, I start my session from the question, and the question is why there is a need to conduct mixed methods research. So for understanding the use of mixed methods research, we need to clarify the concept of research. So when we talk about research, research mean to know the reality. So research mean to know the truth. So this is all about research. So if while we are going to conduct the research activity, we know the reality, we know the truth. So the reality may be the relationship between two variables, or the reality may be the operational definition of a particular construct or particular variable. So reality may be the moderation between two variables. Reality may be the mediation between two variables. So there are a number of things we have to keep in our mind while we are going to conduct the research activities. सादी दरवाजा बंद कर दो. Okay, so now this is very wonderful, amazing diagram. So what do you mean by reality? If we talk about the truth, if we talk about the reality, so there are different angles. So if we see the reality from one angle, then definitely it would not be sufficient. So this is the reason we conduct the mixed methods research. So if we see the reality from one angle, so we need to go for another angle to see the reality from different angles, and this is called triangulation. So this is the reason to conduct the mixed methods research. So now this is very wonderful diagram about a particular glass which is half of water. This is not the full of water, and the people have different perspective about this particular glass. So I'm going to move toward a very amazing picture. So this is basically different perspective, different point of view. If you are optimistic, then definitely you will say that this is basically the glass with half of water. So I just need to clarify this particular first picture. This glass is half of water. So this is the optimistic approach. So we are very positive. We see the positive things. So if you are positivist, then definitely, if you are optimist, then definitely you will see the positive aspects what you are going to see in your surroundings. So if you are pessimist, then definitely this glass is half of empty. So you will see the negative things. So this is another perspective. If you are a realist, so definitely that is the glass of water. You are not talking about that is the full of water, or that is the half of water. So there are different perspective. For example, if your field is physics, then definitely you will say that this is the combination of gas and liquid. So there are multiple perspectives. So this is the reason we conduct the qualitative and quantitative research, mixed methods research, to see the reality from different perspectives. So but I would like to mention here, it is very pertinent to mention here that uh, while you are going to apply the mixed method research, you must have the clear objective and clear your targets, your goals. If you have some ambiguity in your targets, in your goals, then definitely your mixed method will not give you the fruitful results. So maybe using the one technique only, maybe the quantitative technique or maybe the qualitative technique would be sufficient. So this is very important. You need to clarify while you are going to start the mixed method in the beginning, and if you are not clear about that, then definitely it will destroy the complete essence of the research. It will not fulfill your research objectives, it will not give the answer of your research questions. Then definitely it would be very troublable while you are going to apply mixed methods if you are not clear about your research objective. For example, if you have three research objectives, then you need to clarify which one is leading toward quantitative, which one is leading toward qualitative. So this is very important. You need to clarify. So if you are not clear about, and if there is no need to conduct the mixed method, then you must go for one single approach. So if you will apply the both approaches, quantitative and qualitative, it may create trouble in your research. So this is very important concept. So why we conduct research, mixed method research? There is another argument, uh, because there are different perspective of the people. Someone say that you are failed in the exam. Someone say that this is the learning opportunity. So if you go for only quantitative technique, then definitely the people, you will give the people only the objective choice, just like the objective questions, MCQs questions. So you will give only the 4 options or 5 options, from strongly disagree to strongly agree. Then the respondent will not have any answer other than from the Likert scale options. Then definitely he will give the answer from that particular area. But if you are going to explore the reality, if you want to see what is the reality behind the picture, what is the other part of reality, then definitely you will give for another perspective, for another point of view. That would be the qualitative. So for qualitative, you need to go for insight or in depth. So we use the terminology immersion. Immersion means sinking until covered completely with the water. So you go inside of the water, and until unless you covered completely with the water, you will not come back from that particular water. So this is the concept of immersion. So we apply immersion in qualitative research. We go into the realities, we go into the data, we go into the closeness of the research. The researcher will be very close to that particular place, or to that particular person, from he is going to collect the data, or from the place he is going to conduct the research activity. So this is very important in qualitative research. We apply the concept of immersion, and immersion means sinking until covered completely with the water. So now moving toward the linking your research objective with your research methodology. Because we are discussing the mixed methods research or mixed methodology. So we need to clarify our research objective must align with our methodology. So the first question, for example, we take the example of these research question. The first question or the first objective of this research is to identify a particular problem. So these are very generic research objective. We can specify it, but these are very generic objectives. So the first objective is to identify the problem. Then definitely you need to clarify what type of methodology you are going to apply against that particular objective to identify your problem. Then definitely the second objective is to find the solution of that problem. So the question will be how you will develop the solution of this problem. So how question will address the methodology part. So how you will apply the methodology, what type of methodology you are going to apply, and if you apply that particular methodology, are you sure that your objective will be met, and are you sure your objective will be achieved? So definitely you need to align your research objectives with your research methodology. So then the next research objective is to design and implement the solution. This is the third one. So if you are going to achieve this objective, then definitely you need to give the answer of how you will design and implement this solution. And if there is another objective, which is the objective number 4, and to assess the impact, then definitely The question will be how you will assess the impact. So how question will give the answer of methodology. If you are clear about your methodology, then definitely there is no problem. And if you are not clear about your methodology, then definitely you will not achieve your research objectives. So the point is that you need to clarify your research objectives, what type of objectives you are going to achieve in your research, and what type of methodology you are going to apply in your research to achieve your objectives. So now I conclude this slide on this particular statement. My statement is that uh, if your research objectives are quantitative, if your research objectives are quantitative, then definitely you will go for the quantitative methodology. Maybe the survey design, quantitative survey design, or quantitative experimental design. And if your research objectives are qualitative, then definitely you will go for the in-depth case study. You will go for the ethnography, ethnography, ethnomethodology, or grounded theory, or phenomenology, or narrative research, or you will choose some other type of qualitative design like participatory action research. So definitely your research objectives will guide you which kind of methodology you should apply in your research. So this is very important point, and I concluded my discussion on this point. So now, while we are going to apply the research objectives, we need to use different action words. So these are the action words in your research objective. How you will define your research objective? You need to apply different action words. So this is the action word to assess or to reassess. Normally we apply these action words in quantitative research, not in qualitative. These are quantitative. So I will use QN for quantitative and QL for qualitative. So the next one is to provide or to understand. This is the qualitative. To provide the solution, or to provide or to understand a particular concept, definitely this would be qualitative. We are going to understand a particular phenomena. So to examine, this is quantitative. And to analyze, this may be the quantitative or qualitative. To interpret, this would be qualitative. To articulate, this would be qualitative. To establish, you are going to establish a new theory, this would be qualitative. To evaluate or to reevaluate, this would be quantitative. To determine, this would be quantitative. To find out, this would be quantitative or qualitative. To find out the impact of one variable on another variable, or to find out some new factors, so it would be qualitative or quantitative. To dig out, it must be qualitative. To discover, it must be qualitative. So these are the general guidelines. While you are going to write your research objective, you need to use different action words. So the action words will lead toward either you are going to quantitative or qualitative, or if you have both quantitative and qualitative objectives, then definitely you will move toward the mixed methods research. So now I would like to talk about the quantitative. So your research framework, your research theoretical framework will lead you that you are going for the quantitative or qualitative. So this is the quantitative research model. For example, I have three independent variables, and these are the quality dimensions of ERP systems. Biba, pani le aana. And this is another variable which is the individual performance, and I'm going to propose H1, hypothesis 1. I need to provide the support from the literature. So these are the studies, uh, these are the studies, and I'm going to develop my hypothesis based on the theoretical grounds, theoretical evidences from the literature. So similarly, this is another hypothesis H2, and these are the theoretical support, and there is another hypothesis H3. and this is the sport from the literature, and these are the studies, and definitely this is another hypothesis, and this is the literature sport. This is another hypothesis. This is the literature sport, and this is hypothesis 6. This is the literature sport. So we cannot develop the hypothesis between without the literature sport. So we develop the hypothesis with the help of the literature. So why? Because we test the hypothesis, we test the existing theories. If there is theory, then definitely you will go for hypothesis. But now I would like to show another picture, which is the conceptual model, conceptual framework. So if there is no theory, then definitely you are going to develop the new theory. So this is the master thesis I supervised in my university. I'm going to give you the example with the help of this particular conceptual model. So this is the model from the independent side. There is some realities like marketing malpractices. Marketing malpractices are the bad practices of marketing. So we conducted this research in the pharmaceutical industry. So normally in Pakistan, the pharmaceutical companies give benefits to the doctors, benefits like cash, like check, like international towards tickets or national towards tickets, or like some stationery, like some publicity material. And these pharmaceutical companies uh, force the doctors to recommend their medicines and their medical instruments to the patients. So these are the marketing mal marketing practices. Mal marketing practices mean bad marketing practices. So this is the new phenomena, new reality. And what we explored, what are the most influential marketing practices we need to identify, we need to categorize, and what are the least influential marketing practices, marketing malpractices. Mal mean bad practices. So bad practices by pharmaceutical companies, and we need to identify from the independent side, independent variable side. These are not the independent variable, these are independent themes. Okay, so in qualitative research we use the word theme rather than variable. So theme is equivalent to variable, it is the same thing. So what we are going to check, the impact of malpractices, bad practices on the patients. So we explore the two patient, health of the patient and financial impacts of the on the patient. So we explored these realities. What are the outcomes? For example, if doctors recommend the patient more medicine, but the patient is not needed to take more medicine, but the doctors are continuously recommending the patient to take more medicine just because the doctors are willing to sell more medicine of the pharmaceutical companies because of their benefits. So definitely it will badly impact on the health of the patient. If the patient is taking more medicine, then patient will be sick, and there are some side effects of the medicine, and definitely that would be the bad outcome on the health of the patient. And definitely the patient will frequently visit the doctor, the patient will pay the fee to the doctor, the patient will buy more medicine, the patient will go for the unnecessary surgeries. So definitely the patient will suffer financially. So these are the outcomes. So this is the conceptual model, not the theoretical model we explored in the context of Pakistani pharmaceutical companies. So this is the qualitative, not quantitative. So there is no hypothesis, but there are different propositions. So this is the concept. And similarly, this is another example, but I'm going to skip this example, and I'm going to talk about toward the mixed method research. So this is the mixing of multiple methods. Before going toward the mixed method, I just want to talk about the triangulation technique. Triangulation technique is the umbrella. So method is one part of that particular umbrella. So I would like to talk about the triangulation. Triangulation technique is all about applying the multiple methods, multiple data, multiple people, multiple context. So this is the concept of triangulation. We see the reality from multiple angles. We see the reality from multiple data. We see the reality with the help of multiple evidences for may either quantitative or qualitative. So Danzin explained this concept of triangulation. There are different types of triangulation. Number one, data triangulation. Data triangulation means we apply more than one type of data: primary data and secondary data. Or maybe in primary data we apply the multiple data collection techniques like interviews, like focus group discussions, like questionnaire, and like observation. So that is the these are the sources of primary data. So definitely these are the methods to collect the primary data. We apply multiple data techniques, multiple type of data in data triangulation. And if we talk about the investigator triangulation, there must be more than one investigator in that particular triangulation technique. And there is another, which is theoretical triangulation. And when we talk about theoretical triangulation, we apply more than one theory. So for example, if your model is comprehensive and integrated model, then definitely you need to apply more than one theory. You need to triangulate more than one theory in your in your research study. So there is another type of triangulation which is called methodological triangulation. So this is the mixed method research. Methodological triangulation is called mixed methods research, where we apply more than one methodology: qualitative and quantitative. QL for qualitative plus QN for quantitative. We apply both methods in one study. And these particular authors, Kim Chi, Paul Vika, and Stevenson, in 1991, they suggested the fifth type, that is multiple triangulation. Multiple triangulation mean you are applying more than one method, you are applying more than one methodology, you are applying more than one data, and more than one investigators are conducting this particular study. So this is called multiple triangulation. So now I would like to give you the examples of different triangulation, the different mixed methods, mixed method design. So these are the mixed method design. Number one, that is the convergent triangulation. And when we talk about convergent triangulation, we apply both quantitative and qualitative in the in the parallel form. Parallel form mean in the same type, in the same time, time, in the current situation. We collect the quantitative data, we collect the qualitative data, we conduct the interviews in qualitative or focus group, or observations, or we conduct the survey, we collect the data from the secondary archival sources. So in the same time we collect both types of data, quantitative and qualitative. So similarly, in the same time we analyze the quantitative data, we analyze the qualitative data, so in the parallel way. And when we get the findings from both quantitative and qualitative, then we compare the results, we combine the results, we merge the results, we integrate the results. So there are different options. Normally we compare the results. Comparing mean uh, the findings from quantitative and the findings from qualitative. We need to compare both findings, and then we interpret our results. So this is convergent triangulation. And then we move toward the sequential. In the sequential mixed method design, in the first stage, this is the first stage, and in the first stage we conduct the complete qualitative study. Qualitative. So this is the exploratory. Exploratory mean we are going to dig out some new things. we are going to explore the new realities. So this is the exploratory, and we develop the new theory. We conduct the qualitative research by collecting the qualitative data. Qualitative data, we apply the qualitative analytical techniques, and this technique follow up the next quantitative. So on the basis of the findings from qualitative, we move toward the quantitative. So these are the findings from qualitative, and on the basis of qualitative findings, we go for the quantitative research. So here we develop the new model, and develop the new model. And now we are going to test that particular model. In the first stage, we explore the new theory, and in the second stage, we generalize the theory. Maybe we go for the experimental design, maybe we go for the survey design to generalize the findings from the first phase, and in the end, we interpret the findings. So now, the third type of mixed method design is explanatory sequential. Here, we need to first apply the quantitative technique, quantitative data collection, and quantitative data analysis. And then we move toward the qualitative technique. We collect the qualitative data, and we analyze the qualitative data. So here we test the model first, we test, and then some of the hypotheses are rejected, or maybe all are accepted. Then definitely we go why these hypotheses are rejected. So we further dig out by conducting the qualitative research. So in the first stage, we test the well established theory, well established model, we test the hypothesis. But in the second phase, we conduct the qualitative study why these hypotheses are rejected, or there are number of reasons of conducting the qualitative study in the second phase. So one of the major reason is rejection of hypothesis. So if you have 6 hypotheses, one hypothesis is rejected and 5 are accepted, then for one hypothesis which is rejected, you will go for the qualitative study in the second phase. In the end, we interpret the findings. So this is all about the exploratory sequential methods. There is another design which is called embedded research design. So in embedded research design, uh, we choose either quantitative measure or qualitative measure. So this is the major area. But in the major area, we have the minor area, embedded of some other technique, other method, like the qualitative method or the quantitative method. So if you have the major qualitative, qual, if we write like this, qual. So this is the major, and the minor will be quant. Oh, okay, and this is vice versa. Or otherwise, if we have major quant, then the minor will be qual. So as a whole, we have the quantitative, and in the minor side, we have the qualitative. So this is vice versa. So there is another method which is not the embedded method, which is multiple design. Multiple design method mean there are different studies. For example, in the first study, you conduct the qualitative study, and then on the basis of the qualitative findings, you conduct the quantitative study, and then on the basis of qualitative findings, you conduct the quantitative or mixed method. You will go for mixing of both. So these are the different studies, and maybe the multi-phase study will never end. For example, in the first stage, you conduct the qualitative. In the second phase, you conduct the qualitative, and in the third stage, you conduct the you again come on the quantitative. Then in the fourth stage you conduct the qualitative. In the fifth stage you conduct the quantitative. In the sixth stage you conduct the qualitative. So these are the multi-phase. So you need to put the full stop in the multi-phase study. So these are different phases, and these are the studies based on the different phases. Now I would like to come over the data collection methods. There are different data collection methods, but I need to show you people different data collection methods, and this is our these are very wonderful techniques. I would like to practically show you the different data collection methods. For example, we conduct the interviews in in qualitative research. For this is the interview. Okay, these are the this is the interview. We conduct the audio or video recorded interview in qualitative. We also go for the focus group discussion. This is the focus group discussion. Okay, similarly, we conduct the data from the pictures. These are the different pictures, and we apply the thematic analysis and content analysis on the pictures in while we are conducting the qualitative research. Uh, c- uh, we also conduct the survey with the help of questionnaire, and this is the example of quantitative. We use the structured questionnaire, and we use different scales, maybe the dichotomous scale, yes or no option scale, or maybe the Likert scale, from strongly agree to disagree. These are the different quantitative and qualitative data analytical techniques. We also go for the document review. We also go for the blogs or images or emails in qualitative, and we go for the questionnaire or the secondary data in quantitative. There are different methods for the collection of data in quantitative or the qualitative research. So I have discussed all these things, and if you put mixed method research design, then definitely it would be the advantages for the researcher to boost up the chances of publication in that particular journal where you are going to target. So I'm just going to give you the example from my own PhD thesis, and I just want to show you the slides and show you the practical mixed methods design. Okay, I want to come over the, yes, this one. This is basically the I applied the sequential design. So in the first sequence, this is you know uh, the is ERP system successful as individual process or organizational level. This is the quantitative approach. So I applied explanatory sequential. So in the first stage, I conducted the quantitative. I applied the quantitative approach, and my approach was detective. Strategy was survey design, and then I conducted the quantitative data collection survey from 403 companies, and totally I distributed my questionnaire in 514 service and manufacturing companies. I collected the data from questionnaire, and then I applied the different software, smart PLS software and SPSS for the data analysis. And these are the outcomes. And after getting the outcomes, I went for the another technique, another phase, qualitative phase. So this is the inductive approach. Strategy was exploratory in-depth interviews, and qualitative data collection. I conducted the interviews, video, audio recorded interviews, and then I collected the data from 48 ERP end users. And then I moved toward qualitative data analysis technique. I applied NVivo software for the themes, for finding different themes, for applying thematic analysis, word cloud, tag cloud, tree maps. These are the tools. And in the end, I came our the findings. So this is all about my example of my mixed method research design. This is very wonderful technique. I will suggest to all participants and audience who will watch this session. Maybe if the conference is recording this session, definitely the people will be very benefited from this particular session, and definitely they will get the chance to publish their papers in Impact Factor Journal. So audience, thank you so much for inviting me in this wonderful international conference. And if you have any question, you can ask me. G. Yes, please. This is all about my session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to our keynote speaker, Dr. Rob Nawaz Lodi. What a very comprehensive and detailed of a research presentation today on the topic of use of mixed methods. Research designs boost the chances of publication. And that's all the way from the business school in Pakistan. Hello, sir. How are you there?
Yeah, I'm good. Alhamdulillah. Everything is fine. Thank you so much for appreciating me. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. You are welcome, sir. And I'm sure that all your intelligent and smart ideas today will really play a vital role to all the participants coming worldwide.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And
Okay,
for
can I
that,
leave the
sir,
session? Yeah.
yes, go ahead, sir. Would you like to convey a message for today? This is a once in a lifetime and a great opportunity for you to do so.
Okay, that's wonderful. So I have a message that I'm going to share my number, cell phone number, and I'm very down to earth person, very humble, very kind person. So if anyone wants to contact me, so think about that, how we can jointly contribute something for the research community in the world. So please feel free to contact me. This is my WhatsApp number and this is my email address. Definitely you can contact anytime. You can send me the message and we can go for the collaborative work. So a lot of people working under my supervision in different countries who are doing the mixed method research, and they are publishing their papers in different impact factor journals. So this is the open invitation to all. You can contact me, and even if you find some opportunity, you can also invite me in your country so I can come over free of cost. I will not charge any amount for my training session. So thank you so much, Professor, for inviting me.
Very well. Dr. Rob Nawaz Lodi, all the way from the Business School, Pakistan. So we also would like to give the idea and a message to everyone that you can invite Dr. Rob Nawaz Lodi at any time in your convenience, and you can ask really great help and of great service. Dr. Rob Nawaz Lodi will always be with you at any time.
Hmm. Thank you so much. Okay, take care.
You are most welcome. Sir,
Bye
before
bye.
we'll let you go, we will give you the certificate of recognition today.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, let me read the citation. The Commission on Higher Education, Philippines Association for Graduate Education, Council of Deans for Graduate Education, Philippine Association of Institutions for Research, Incorporated, Secola Tinggi Elmo Economy, the International Association of Scholarly Publishers, Editors and Reviewers, and the Rizal Memorial Colleges Incorporated, award the certificate of recognition to Dr. Rob Nawaz Lodi for being the keynote speaker on the topic, use of mixed methods research designs, boost the chances of publication during the third International Conference on Scholarly Writing and Research Publishing for Global Branding 2020, given today, the 20th of November 2020 at Rizal Memorial College's Davao City, Philippines, with the theme Educational Empowerment and the New Normal through Collaboration among ASEAN Colleges and Universities. Signed, Dr. Pablo F. Busquet, the Dean of the Graduate School of the Rizal Memorial Colleges, Davao City, Philippines, and the school president, Dr. Evelyn Avaliera Magno, and Dr. Victoria T. Lopase, page 11 president. Congratulations to Dr. Rob Nawaz Lodi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Thank you so much for this wonderful certificate.
You are most welcome, sir, and we are really pleased and glad having you with us in this conference and looking forward to having more of your presence collaboratively in the next to come. And we'll put you backstage at this time.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay. This has to complete everything what we have just started today. And before our awarding ceremonies, and that is the most awaited for our research enthusiasts, our research presenters, will still have moved to our last presenter today on the topic V. Fontina Strombus Canarium Jump Shell Seaweeds, Vegetables, Fruits, and Herbs Lumpia of Dr. Viden Elpos Valderrama.
B. Fontina Strombus Canarium, Jam Shell, Vegetables, Fontina. A pleasant day to everyone. I am honored and privileged to share this research study. With this opportunity, I am happy that I thought a pleasant day to everyone. I am honored and privileged to share this research study. With this opportunity, I am happy. The title is B. Fontina Strombus Canarium, Jump Shell, Vegetables, Fruits, Herbs, and Capapicos alvarezi, Lumpia. For the introduction of the study, Intensification of the water and land resources was targeted and is being sustained. Production in quality and quantity of the products may contribute and help that can compete globally to help mitigate malnutrition if not stopped. The said land resources gave nutrients to the consumers and at the same time, the beneficiaries incurred fewer expenses in the preparation of the product. Lumpia is a soft food made of mixed vegetables, fruits, herbs, and Capapaicos alvarici using a lumpia wrapper. B. fontina strombus canarium, jam shell, vegetables, fruits, herbs, Capapaicos, lumpia is a product composed of ingredients that are abundant and readily available in the identified barangay in the municipality of Concepcion. Gastropod, locally as Sicad, Strombus canarium, as with other edible snail meats. Sicad contains 5-gram protein, iron, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, copper, zinc, 3.24 vitamin E, vitamins A, B6, B12, K, and components of folate. Malunggay, scientifically known as Moringa oleifera, is beneficial for people who are aiming for weight loss. Detoxification helps in controlling appetite, boosts one's energy level. Soursop, guayabano, Annona moricata alleviates pain from arthritis, joint and back problems, and rheumatism, prevents urinary tract infections, migraine and headache relief, may help in anemia, prevents constipation and leg cramps. Lemongrass, locally known as tanglad, scientifically known as himpupugon, is known to treat heart diseases and diabetes, contains multiple antioxidants that may help to stop free radicals to help keep cancer cells at bay. For turmeric, locally known as kalawag, scientifically known as Curcuma longa, is an anti-inflammatory, a painkiller, anti-inflattotent, and antimicrobial properties, rich in antioxidants and dietary fiber, which helps to control blood LDL or bad cholesterol levels. For the seaweeds, scientifically known as Capapaicos alvarici, this contains a higher concentration of calcium, iodine, and it is very good in the manufacturing of pharmaceutical preparation, also as binder, according to the reference of Springsteen and the other books that is found in the list of references. The operation and demonstration of this product needs less capital because the resources are readily available in the barangay. The product is highly nutritive, palatable, feasible, and marketable. The scarcity of the food supply in the locality will be experienced if the residents will not preserve and conserve the aquatic and land resources found in the vicinity. This research enlightened the residents to utilize the available aquatic and land resources as ingredients of the product. It hastened the production of land resources like malunggay, lemongrass, soursop, turmeric, and seaweeds already available in the barangay. These resources were utilized as food items and ingredients to augment the income and serve as source of livelihood of the residents of the said barangay. It provides nutrients and it is health-friendly. A barangay ordinance, resolution number 18 series of 2019, prohibiting transient pickers of shells and seaweeds in the seashore of Barangay Loong was sponsored by the researcher and was approved by the barangay officials. For the objectives of the study, this study was conducted to determine the level of significance of B. fontina, Strombus canarium, jam shell, vegetables, fruits, and herbs, Capapaicos alvarici lumpia, as to color, odor, flavor, and general acceptability. Specifically, the project was aimed to train beneficiaries on the process of production, utilize water and land resources available in the barangay, produce finished product that is highly nutritive, palatable, feasible, and marketable, produce finished product with necessary permits and other requirements that the government requires. For the materials and methods, 1. Gathering the raw materials follows preparation of raw materials needed in lumpia making, washing and draining, slicing, mincing, shredding, cooking, pounding, osterizing, straining, culling, packaging, and number 10 last is labeling. For the materials used is strainer, cutting board, knives, colander, pail, blender, gas range, stainless trays, stainless working table, plastic wrappers and sealers, scissors, measuring cups, weighing scale, basin, mortar, and pestle. For the results of the study, there are graphs that is being shown and posted on the color, odor, flavor, general acceptability. With this graph, it shows that the color, odor, flavor is being rated very much liked. And for the general acceptability, it is being evaluated highly acceptable. For the discussion, the finished product is highly nutritive, palatable, feasible, and marketable using Gastropod strombus carnarium, locally known as Icad, Guyabano sarsap, or babana, and scientifically known as Annona moricata, malunggay, scientifically known as Moringa oleifera, turmeric, or locally known as kalawag, scientifically known as Curcuma longa, and lemongrass, Symphopogon, Capapicus alberici, in making Bifontina strombus carnarium, jam shell, vegetables, fruits, herbs, and seaweeds, Capapicus alberici lumpia. Acceptability of Bifontina strombus carnarium, jam shell, vegetables, fruits, and herbs, and Capapicus alberici lumpia as to color. The results showed that the overall obtained mean is 4.66 and the standard deviation is 0.345 of Bifontina gastropod, fruit, herbs, vegetables, Capapicus alberici lumpia was liked very much by the panelists. For students, evaluators, the results showed that the obtained mean is 4.64 and the standard deviation is 0.361. The results showed that the obtained mean among housewives is 4.69 and the standard deviation is 0.321, which both showed that the respondents, panelists liked very much that the Bifontina gastropod, fruit, herbs, vegetables, and Capapicus alberici lumpia. For the acceptability of Bifontina strombus carnarium, jam shell, vegetables, fruits, herbs, Capapicus alberici lumpia as to flavor, the results showed that the overall obtained mean is 4.55. For the standard deviation is 0.328 of Bifontina strombus carnarium, jam shell, vegetable, fruits, herbs, Capapicus alberici lumpia was liked very much by the respondents and or the panelists. For the students, evaluators, the results showed that the obtained mean is 4.15 while the standard deviation is 0.369. The results showed that the obtained mean among housewives is 4.62 and the standard deviation is 0.215, which both showed that the respondents, panelists, liked very much the Bifontina strombus, jam shell, vegetable, fruits, herbs, Capapicus alberici lumpia. For the acceptability of Bifontina strombus carnarium, jam shell, vegetable, fruits, herbs, Capapicus alberici lumpia as to odor, the results showed that the overall obtained mean is 4.66 and the standard deviation is 0.345 of Bifontina strombus carnarium, jam shell, vegetables, fruits, herbs, Capapicus alberici lumpia was liked very much by the respondents and the panelists. For students, evaluators, the results showed that the obtained mean is 4.64 and the standard deviation is 0.361. The results showed that the obtained mean among housewives is 4.9 while the standard deviation is 0.321, which both show that the respondents or the panelists like very much the Bifontina strombus, jam shell, vegetables, fruits, herbs, Capapicus alberici lumpia. For the inferential data analysis, differences on the acceptability of Bifontina strombus carnarium, jam shell, vegetables, fruits, herbs, and Capapicus alberici lumpia as to color. Results revealed on its testing process that there is no significant differences in the acceptability of Bifontina strombus carnarium, jam shell, vegetables, fruits, herbs, Capapicus alberici lumpia as to color. The computed p-value is 0.676, which is higher than 0.05 alpha levels. Hence, the hypothesis states that there is no significance on the evaluator's evaluation on Bifontina strombus carnarium, jam shell, vegetables, fruits, herbs, Capapicus alvarezi, lumpia as to color acceptability. Differences between Bifontina strombos canarium, jam shell, vegetables, fruits, herbs, Capapicus alvarezi, lumpia. Test results revealed that there is a significant difference between Bifontina strombos canarium, jam shell, vegetables, fruits, herbs, Capapicus alvarezi, lumpia. The computed p-value is 0.000, which is less than 0.05 alpha levels. Hence, hypothesis states that there is no significant difference between Bifontina strombos canarium, jam shell, vegetables, fruits, herbs, Capapicus alvarezi, lumpia is rejected. For the conclusion of the study, the research site was conserved for the products and was utilized for the production. The finished product is highly nutritive, palatable, feasible, and marketable. Findings showed that among trained student panelists, Bifontina gastropod, fruits, herbs, vegetables, Capapicus alvarezi, lumpia was very much liked as to color, flavor, and odor. Among the expert housewives, Bifontina gastropod, fruit, herbs, and vegetables, Capapicus alvarezi, lumpia was liked very much as to color, odor, and flavor. For general acceptability, the panelists found it highly acceptable. The shelf life of the product is from 10 to 12 months as determined by the Department of Science and Technologies. Gastropod, fruits, herbs, vegetables, Capapicus alvarezi, lumpia is encouraged since it is highly acceptable and yields high return of investment. For the recommendations, capital should be allotted to this study and appropriate tools and materials should be purchased in volume. Utilization of gastropod in the production of Bifontina strombos jam shell, vegetables, fruits, herbs, Capapicus alvarezi, lumpia is encouraged and it is highly acceptable and yields high return of investment. The local government unit of conception should be motivated to transfer technology to other barangays in the municipality. There must be strict implementation of the ordinance supporting Republic Act number 8550, providing for the development, management, and conservation of the fisheries and aquatic resources. For the references of the study, there are different books and online references that are listed below. Thank you, and more power to the organizer of this event.
Wow, it is with great honor today, having all completed our presenters. Congratulations with an esteemed honor to our presenters coming all over the world, completing with a remarkable success with the great dedication of our research enthusiasts. Congratulations and looking forward to a more gathering like this. Thank you, Madam Viden Valderrama Elpos on the V. Fontina Strombos Canarium, jump shell, seaweeds, vegetables, fruits, and herbs, lumpia. Thank you so much. Yes, I guess Dr. Pablo F. Busquet, would you like to say something? Yes, doctor? Wala. Okay, yes, this is it of our presentation of the awards, the awarding ceremonies. Let us celebrate today's success with our incredible presenters, together with our viewers, our participants all over the world. Let's thank the awesome people who made this happen. Today could not have been possible without our presenters who have shared their time, effort, expertise, and dedication, and so much more to champion and make this international conference a success. Once again, congratulations to our presenters today. We'll have awarding ceremonies, and we will have first the best paper presentation. Okay, we'll have now the first award goes to, please roll VTR. The best paper presenter goes to Michelle S. Barsaman on the topic, The Travails of Teacher with Multiple Ancillary Functions, a Phenomenological Inquiry. The Commission on Higher Education, Philippine Association for Graduate Education, Council of Deans for Graduate Education, Philippine Association of Institutions for Research, Sekolah Tinggi Ilmu Economy, International Association of Scholarly Publishers, Editors and Reviewers, and the Rizal Memorial Colleges Incorporated are awarding this certificate of recognition as the best paper presenter to Miss Michelle S. Barsaman, given today, the 28th day of November 2020 at the Rizal Memorial Colleges Incorporated, Davao City, Philippines, in our third International Conference on Scholarly Writing and Publishing for Global Branding 2020. Signed, the President of the Council of Deans for Graduate Education and the Dean of the Graduate School of the Rizal Memorial Colleges, Davao City, Philippines, Dr. Pablo F. Busquets, together with the equally beautiful President, Dr. Evelyn Abellera Magno, and the Page 11 President, Dr. Victoria T. Lupace. Congratulations, Best Paper Presenter, Ms. Michelle S. Barsaman. And congratulations to Mr. Jeffrey C. Ligorpa, Balancing Academics and Sports of Student Athletes, Accounts of Teachers. The same award goes to him and the same citation. Congratulations to Haryadi Yutanto, Kartika Marta Budiana. Congratulations all the way from the Indonesia. Congratulations to Mr. Ezekiel Gumeter. Congratulations to Mr. Pedro P. Raimunde. Congratulations to Ms. Hel Marie B. Tiboron. Another Best Paper Presenter, Mr. Frederick V. Dumagan. And of course, to the one and the only from the Coriazo College of Davao, Coriazo College in Vigo City, Philippines, Dr. Randy Tudi. This is very timely. COVID and spiritual health. Wow, we really have to keep our sane intact and the psychosocial wellness and well-being of everyone. We also have Joan N. Sison and Mr. Richard Di Palubos Jr. Congratulations to the best paper presenters to this third International on Scholarly Writing and Research Publishing for Global Branding 2020. I'm sure that we are all looking forward to having you once again in our next gathering of an international research such as this. Okay, we'll move to the next. The best journal paper abstract. Okay, so this is a celebration of success to the following presenters for the best journal paper abstract. Okay, to our technical director, Mr. Eugene Dorado, please roll VTR. Best journal paper abstract, congratulations to Ms. Michelle S. Barsaman. Congratulations, Ms. Michelle. We also have Mr. Jeffrey C. Ligorpa. To the next, we have Haryadi Yutanto and Kartika Marta Bodiana. Congratulations all the way from our presenters coming from Indonesia. Mr. Ezekiel Gumiter. The same citation on the award as flashed of our certificate in the screen right now to Mr. Pedro P. Raimunde. Best Journal Paper Abstract for Ms. Hel Marie B. Tiboron. We also have Mr. Frederick V. Dumagan. Congratulations, sir. And Dr. Randy A. Tudi. Digos City, Philippines. Congratulations to our awardees. Wow, this is a celebration of your success. Imagine of those sleepless nights just to come up with a brilliant, or well, let us say intelligent and brilliant, smart ideas of your research presentations that would really provide networking of convergence. Okay, so we also have the next of our best journal paper abstract. Okay, so the best journal paper abstract is the same citation as I've read few minutes back. The Commission on Higher Education, Philippine Association for Graduate Education, Council of Deans for Graduate Education, Philippine Association of Institutions for Research, Sekolah Tinggi Ilmu Economy, the International Association of Scholarly Publishers, Editors and Reviewers, and the Rizal Memorial Colleges award the certificate of recognition as the best journal paper presentation is hereby awarded to, we have all the way from Indonesia, Haryadi Yutanto, Kartika Marta Modiana, on the title paper, Webinar, a strategy to enhance speaking skill of non-native English speaker in our third international conference on scholarly writing, publishing for Global Branding 2020, given today, the 28th of November 2020 at the Rizal Memorial Colleges, Davao City, Philippines, with the theme Educational Empowerment in the New Normal through collaboration among ASEAN colleges and universities. Signed, Dr. Pablo F. Busquet, the Dean of the Graduate School, Rizal Memorial Colleges, Philippines, Dr. Evelyn Abellera Magno, the President of the Rizal Memorial Colleges, Incorporated, Davao City, Philippines, and Dr. Victoria T. Lupace, President of Page 11. All those who are best in paper abstract, they are having the same certificate and the same citation as I've read few seconds back. Congratulations to have just the best paper journal and the best paper presenters. Okay, so this is it. This is quite a big celebration of success. I'm sure our presidents all the way from the United States of America, like Dr. Evelyn Abellera Magno, is very happy witnessing this very successful and remarkable, notable accomplishment of the Rizal Memorial College's Davao City, Philippines, to have just come up with, delivering positive results in the field of research, advancements, and development. Okay, so our technical director, Sir Eugene Dorado, would you like to have our, let's say, announcements aside from the announcement of the best journal paper abstract and the best research presenters? Before we move to the messages of our illustrious members of the Rizal Memorial Colleges, Davao City, Philippines. Okay, so wow. So the best. So once again, I'd like to give you a run through of the winners of our best paper presentation. Miss Michelle S. Barsaman, Mr. Jeffrey C. Ligorpa, Haryadi Yutanto Kartika Marta Budiana, Mr. Ezekiel Gumeter, Mr. Pedro P. Raimunde, Ms. Helmarie B. Tiboron, Mr. Frederick V. Dumagan, Dr. Randy Turi, Ms. Michelle S. Barsaman, Ms. Joan N. Sison, Mr. Richard D. Palobos Jr. Our best journal paper abstract. Congratulations to the following presenters: Mr. Richard D. Palubos Jr., Dr. Randy Turi, Mr. Frederick V. Dumagan, Ms. Helmarie B. Tiburon, Mr. Pedro P. Raimunde, Mr. Ezekiel Gumeter, Haryadi Yutanto, Kartika Marta Budiana, Mr. Jeffrey C. Ligorpa, Ms. Michelle S. Barsaman, Dr. Joan N. Sison, Ms. Vaiden Valderrama Elpos. Congratulations. I'm taking the second time to read all those awards because I know they deserve nothing less but a warm congratulations to our best paper presenters as well as our best journal paper abstract. Once again, congratulations and thank you to our eminent keynote speakers. To start with, Dr. Don Unelli, all the way from Texas, United States of America. Dr. Genaro V. Hapos from the city of Golden Friendship, Cagayan de Oro City. We also have Professor Juwari of Indonesia. We have Dr. Ida Gauran Turi, Dr. Sawitri Sowanarua, and Dr. Rab Nawaz Lodi. Have you imagined that? This is a complete success with distinguished keynote speakers. And today, we'll have our closing remarks. Not yet. Wow, I know you're all excited. Okay, so we have our closing remarks, but before that, I'll give you to our graduate school dean of the Rizal Memorial Colleges, Davao City, Philippines. We cannot close the program up until unless we are saying the no less than. We'll have a virtual clap for Dr. Pablo F. Busquet, our Dean of the Graduate School of the RMC Davao City, Philippines, and the Council of Deans for Graduate Education. A virtual clap for him. Huge result.
Good afternoon. I am particularly happy to have this prestigious event a reality at the Rizal Memorial Colleges in our virtual third international conference on scholarly writing and research publishing for global branding 2020. It is good afternoon. I am particularly happy to have this prestigious event a reality at the Rizal Memorial Colleges in our virtual third international conference on scholarly writing and research publishing for global branding 2020. It is with great honor to thank everyone presenting many well-known colleges and universities throughout the world and research enthusiasts together with our keynote speakers of relevant organizations. Once again, thank you and more power. Mashallah.
Okay, so you just have heard Dr. Pablo F. Busquet, the Dean of the Graduate School of the Rizal Memorial Colleges and the Council of Deans for Graduate Education right here of the Rizal Memorial Colleges, Davao City, Philippines. Wow, these are all amazing. And we also would like to thank awesome people to make all this a success. Okay, at this time, we move to our closing remarks by the no less than, of course, a graduate school faculty of the Rizal Memorial Colleges. Dr. Marciano Melchor.
The third International Conference on Scholarly Writing and Research Publishing for Global Branding is finally concluded. This year's conference theme, Educational Empowerment in the New Normal, through the collaboration among ASEAN colleges and universities, is a reality that we need to live with. This conference would not have been possible without the full and untiring support of the people in the front line and those who work silently behind the scenes. Our gratitude to the keynote speaker, Dr. Don Yunali from the USA, Dr. Jawari Sarkawi from Indonesia, Dr. Hinaro Hapos from the Philippines, Dr. Ida Gauran Tudi from the Philippines, Dr. Sawitri Suwarnaroa from Thailand, and Dr. Rab Nawaz Lodi from Pakistan, and all the virtual research presenters. The graduate school professors and all the participants who attended this third international conference. We would like also to acknowledge the significant contributions of the following members of the committee: Dr. Evelyn Magno, President; Attorney Ernesto Rafael Robillo, Vice President for Administration; Mr. Lorenzo Rafael Magno, Assistant Vice President for Administration; Dr. Lourdes C. Cabintoy, Vice President for Academic Affairs; all the program committee chairs and co-chairs, as well as the members. The anchor woman for the past 2 days, Ms. Maureen Ava Acuña; Mr. Bernal Ortiga, the Secretary of the Graduate School; Mrs. Liliosa Muniva, the Accreditation Director of the College; and Mr. Reynaldo Alipio, as well as Mr. Eugene Dorado, the technical staff, for their perspicacity. In behalf of the Rizal Memorial College's administration officials, the college president, Dr. Evelyn Magno, the Dean of the Graduate School, Dr. Pablo S. Busquit, the Research Director, Dr. Nelia Aga, all the research enthusiasts all over the world, from the USA, Thailand, Indonesia, Pakistan, and all the graduate students in this college, we thank you for joining us in this academic exercise this year. We look forward for another speculative congregation like this in the future. Have a wonderful day ahead and stay safe. God bless us all. Ma'asalama.
Okay. Once again, we're back in our finale of our third International Conference on Scholarly Writing and Research Publishing for Global Branding 2020. Wow, the long wait is over. It's going to be complete at this time as the awarding ceremonies had just been given to the most well-deserved research enthusiasts, our research presenters, and of course, we are thankful to our distinguished keynote speakers for this two-day conference. You know, it is always with great pleasure and honor to have this kind of international research conference. We recognize the pivotal impact of education, professionals who are committed to making a difference and creating an equitable, transformative, liberating learning opportunities, joining us with our two-day international conference. We really had series of many conferences. According to Dr. Pablo F. Busquet, they started first international, second, it's our third, and more to come according to him. It's been a success. We have just viewed all the comments of our participants coming all over the world with positive impact on the research and development, and looking forward to having all this in the next years to come. Well, thank you. We've reached so far with 1,000 viewers or more or so, because this is not just only right here in the Philippines, but we are viewed live and alive internationally via Facebook and YouTube Live. Well, in our digital technology and the e-learning platform, we always utilize teaching, learning, and educational administration aspect. We are really fortunate to have our presenters in 2 days, and at the same time, our keynote speakers who shared their expertise and intelligent ideas. Wow, this is it. We have just built a network of commitment all throughout the world, promoting the use of studies in the diverse modes of education. On this kind of platform in 2020, it has penetrated the areas of operations of education, entwined with our educational practices to benefit the essential education professionals set for themselves, ready for transforming their practices and keep recognizing efficient ways for transformation and context. Once again, we thank you, all our participants, research presenters, keynote speakers, and I am speaking on behalf of the Rizal Memorial Colleges Incorporated, Davao City, Philippines, Dr. Pablo F. Busquet, the Dean of the Graduate School and the Council of Deans for Graduate Education President, and to Dr. Evelyn Abellera Magno, and to the Chair of the Board of Directors, Mr. Leo Tereso A. Magno. Thank you so much. And for those who are with us all throughout live here in the studio, we have Dr. Remihilda D. Gallardo, Dr. Josephine Baguio, Dr. Marciano B. Melchor, Mr. Vernal, Mr. Reynaldo Alipio. We have the technical director, we have Mr. Eugene Dorado and Dr. Pablo F. Busquet, who is, of course, the ever dedicated and awesome, by the way, and making this a successful one. Once again, looking forward to the next gathering of the International Research Conference, as we are closing on this with beautiful thoughts of always follow strictly the implementation guidelines of the best safety health protocol to prevent the coronavirus 19 pandemic. Let us all be safe and keeping it forward. Together, we can beat this. This has been Maureen. Okay, so they are all here with us. Okay, we have Dr. Baguio, Dr. Marciano Melchor, Dr. Busquet, Dr. Gallardo, and Mr. Vernal. We have Mr. Reynaldo at the back of this and Mr. Eugene Dorado. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
This is really a wrap up to everyone. This has been Maureen Ava Acuna, your virtual host of this International Research Conference on Scholarly Writing and Research Publishing for Global Branding 2020, right here at the Rizal Memorial Colleges, Davao City, Philippines. To God be the highest glory, and we are officially closing our international conference in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.